Good morning, members, and welcome. We are on our 10th day of the 68th Wyoming Legislature's budget session, 2026, February the 20th. So I could have you come get into the chamber and we will get ready to do roll call. Before we get underway, reading clerk, please call the roll.
Alamand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Hornstrom, Geringer, Gugemas, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washit, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker.
Body, we will, oh, we got one representative once.
Angelos, Harshman, Guggenmoss,
Geringer.
Geringer, Worf,
Okay, we can hold it open briefly. We're still waiting for a couple representatives. And so in the interim, while we wait, our prayer of the day will be led by Deacon Stephen Lucas, St. Patrick's Catholic Church, Wheatland, and Mary Queen of Heaven, Chugwater, Wyoming. Please stand. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be back. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Good and gracious God, all-loving and all-knowing Heavenly Father, again, we stand humbly before you, asking for the work of the Holy Spirit to be alive and active in the work of these representatives today as they continue to serve the people of Wyoming. Turning to the words from the prophet Micah, we hear you say, Lord, you have been told, O mortal, what is good and what the Lord requires of you, only to do justice and to love goodness and to walk humbly with your God. May your words, O Lord, guide these men and women today to humbly walk with you as they pursue what is good and what is just for all because your Holy Spirit resides within them. May the gifts of wisdom, understanding, fortitude, and perseverance pour forth from you, Lord, into the souls of these representatives today. Grant clarity of mind, especially as the weight of these sessions are felt more and more as the days go on. As tension grows, allow these men and women to have greater ability, Lord, to discern your truth, courage to pursue justice with mercy, and the humility to listen with patience. Shield them from distractions and partisanship, guiding them toward decisions that honor and protect the dignity of every human being at all stages of life, from conception to natural death. Especially, Lord, those most vulnerable and forgotten. Grant, O Lord, integrity and candor, that they may speak truth, act justly, and work toward patient compromise where possible. May their deliberations be civil, even in disagreement. And grant them rest, Lord, when needed, so they may serve with renewed zeal. And finally, Lord, we ask again for the protection and peace for these representatives' family members and loved ones at home awaiting their return. Take care of the work and responsibilities they have placed on hold while they spend their time serving the needs of others. We ask all of these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. May Almighty God bless you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Go in peace.
Thank you. Deacon Lucas? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a couple more to close out the roll. If the members are here, I don't see. We still got two members that are out. Okay, we got two members that are still out. Do you want to? You can excuse them and go ahead. All right. Yep. Here, ladies and gentlemen. We need to close out the roll, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far in. I just need you guys to be able to hear this and maybe be able to hear it on the YouTube. So, reading clerk.
Storer. Washit. 59 present, 3 excused.
Thank you, reading clerk. Now, Representative Larson, Lloyd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor, please.
Please proceed.
So folks, I want you to look up here at the front, our page of the day. Bodie, stand up if you would, oh buddy. Bodie Phillips is here with us today. He's my self-acquired grandson, him and his two brothers. He's a twin. His older brother Grady's down here swimming, so he doesn't want to go sit in the pool all day, and graciously volunteered to come and be our page. He's loves to tinker and master creativity in my shop. In the prairie dog community, he's known as Lightning. And they're glad he's not around today. He's a good guy, and so we want to welcome him. But before we do that, I also want to turn the gallery and ask his parents to stand. Adam, Camille, stand up. Now, folks, this is what we've been talking about in this session. Adam's an Evanston guy, went to the law school in Laramie. Camille's a Kimmer girl, got her degree at College of Business in Wyoming, the University of Wyoming, and is a CPA and investment manager. They chose to stay because the College of Law and the College of Business provided them with the education that allowed them to stay in Wyoming and raise those 3 kids. And we're glad they're here today. So join me and welcome Bodie and the Phillips family. And Mr. Chairman, I think there's one other thing that I failed to mention that we have missed mentioning about the University of Wyoming. 4 of my kids met their spouse at the university. These guys met at the university. What a great place to meet your future, the University of Wyoming. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Larson, and welcome, Bodie. We look forward to working with you today, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your time here in the chamber. And thank you, parents, for allowing us to be able to be blessed with your son today. What an opportunity. Representative Brown, Gary,
Mr. Speaker, privilege of the floor.
please.
Members, anytime that we have members of our community come in and see what we're doing, it's always a privilege. Today, I'd like to introduce you to one of my constituents in the West Gallery, Mr. Howard Bauer. Would you please stand up, Howard?
Mr. Bauer, thank you for being here. Welcome to the House. Okay, Representative Smith,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor.
please proceed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you some new friends that I actually just met today, but they are from my district. They came all the way from Yoder, Wyoming. They are part of the Sunny Butte Christian School. Will you guys please rise? And then, so they're spread out, so I can't say North and West Gallery. Nobody's in the South Gallery, but their teacher is Miss Miniger, and she's going to wave and get real red and embarrassed. And then the school board members are going to wave and get embarrassed and hide behind poles. And then we also have some parents up here and over there as well that are all going to wave and slightly be embarrassed. So let's welcome the Sunny Butte Christian School.
Welcome to the House. Thank you for being here. Again, young people, we look forward to having the opportunity to see all that you're going to do for Wyoming and this nation. Keep learning, grow, engage. Parents, thank you. School board members, thank you for being here and investing your time and effort into these young people and making sure that this state and this nation continues to grow and prosper and to see our young people thrive and all that they will bring. Who knows, ladies and gentlemen, right there might be the cure to cancer up there and these young people that are coming and all these different things as we grow. So thank you for all that you do. Appreciate you being here. All right. We have the Journal Committee report. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Representative Posey, please, sir.
Privilege of the floor, Mr. Speaker.
Absolutely. Please proceed, sir.
I'd like to welcome back to this chamber a lady that served on this legislature a few years ago. She continues to contribute to our community, and not only on the Wind River Reservation, but as a growing indigenous knowledge all over the state as well as the country. I'm very honored to follow in her footsteps. She's a strong lady, well-versed in our traditional and cultural ways. And I'm very honored to introduce her this morning. That is Miss Andy LeBeau, and she is in the West Gallery this morning.
Welcome, Ms. LeBeau. Thank you for being in the House. Glad you're here. Okay, any others? Representative Lucas, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor, please.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Body, we have joining us today students from Homeschool Wyoming, along with their homeschool families. They're specifically here in this county and all in other places, but they have been supporting homeschoolers in Wyoming since 1996. And one of the things that this group does is to recommend and advocate for homeschooling that is parent-directed and absolutely privately funded. Homeschool Wyoming works statewide to support, educate, and encourage homeschool families. Please join me in welcoming these promising students and their families to the house.
Good morning and welcome to the house. Glad to have you with us today. As I said earlier, our youth are our future, and we look forward to all that you will do and enjoy having you with us today. It's always good to see young people in the gallery and enjoy their help and their work here on the floor. It's very invigorating, and it helps all of us to realize how blessed we are as a nation and as a state with such a wonderful, wonderful group of young people that are coming up. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. All right, so let's see here. Yes, Representative Filer.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker. Can I have a quick privilege?
Why not? Yeah.
All right, before you all start booing, this joke was given to me by another representative. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want anybody booing this person. But
Was it Representative Geringer?
well, now no,
Okay.
no. All right, it's a math joke, by the way. I'll give you a hint. All right, a sheepdog returns to his farmer and says, "All right, I've got your 70 sheep back in the east pen." The farmer replies, "What? I have 67 sheep, not 70. The sheepdog gives him a withering look and says, "I know, I rounded them up."
I will have to say, Representative Filer, that's one of the best ones you've had so far. Oh, and now, hey. And Representative Strzok, I got to ask, if I hadn't have said that, would you have stand up and said thank you? Yeah, no, we like to own that kind of stuff. No, that's good. Well, thanks for sharing that with Representative Filer, and thank you, Representative Filer, for sharing it with the body. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Journal Committee report.
Your Journal Committee reports that the Journal of February 19th, 2026 has been read and recommends that it be approved. Representatives Jarvis and Posey.
Thank you, Reading Clerk. Doctor of the Day is Zach Herman. He is supposed to be with us in the back. I trust he will be available for representatives if there would see any reason or need for them to be here. We appreciate him being here to look after us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to all help you recognize a young man that you see standing up here to my left and your right. Page recognition time. Andrew Lewis. So he is going to step up here and he is going to give us a dissertation on what he did or maybe didn't learn, or hopefully what he did learn by his opportunity to share this chamber with us. So, Mr. Lewis, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to start by thanking a few people. I want to thank Ms. Patty Mangini and Mr. Rick Kessler for showing me the ropes around here this week. I want to thank Mrs. Talbot for giving me the opportunity to be here this week. And I want to thank you, the members of the House, for teaching me so much. I've been coming to the Capitol since I was 5, and I'm always surprised by the work ethic of the members of this House. You all give so much of your valuable time to the service of this state. Earlier this year, I competed in the State We the People program here in the Capitol, and I feel like this paging experience was the perfect sequel to that one. In We the People, we talked about the Constitution, the balance of powers, and the importance of civic responsibility. But this week, I got to see it lived out in real time. I saw how much work goes into a single vote. I saw that disagreement doesn't have to mean disrespect. And I saw that leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being willing to listen. I've admired this building for as long as I can remember, but this week I also learned that it's not the building or the history that makes it so special, it's the people inside of it. It's the willingness to serve, even when it's difficult, even when the conversations are hard, and even when not everybody agrees. My generation is often told that politics is divided and that civic engagement doesn't matter. But being here has shown me the opposite. It matters deeply. The future of Wyoming depends on people who are willing to show up, speak up, and care. This experience hasn't just taught me how government works, it's reminded me why it works. It works because of dedication, it works because of respect, and it works because of the people who love the state enough to serve it. Thank you for letting me witness that firsthand. I'm leaving here more inspired than when I arrived, and I hope someday I can give back to Wyoming the way each of you does every day. Thank you.
Mr. Lewis, it has been an honor to have you here with us in the chamber. He's a great young man, and as you've seen, he has worked and stayed tough with us as we've gone through this past week and the days before, and just done a tremendous job. Been very, very helpful, very respectful, wonderful young man, and it has just been an honor to have him here in the chamber. So look forward to all you're going to do as your life progresses, sir, and appreciate all your efforts and what you did for us here. So thank you for being here. Okay. No messages from the Senate, I understand. Any unfinished business, so we're going to move into some rules here that are being proposed. Got a couple of different rule changes. Ladies and gentlemen, the first one for our consideration would be a joint rule. Number 2, joint rule 23-01. This will be Representative Yin.
Mr. Speaker, I respectfully withdraw at this time this joint rule amendment.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Representative. The rule amendment has been withdrawn. Next rule that we have for consideration is House Rule number 5, dealing with House Rule 13-7. This is a rule being brought by Representative Haroldson. Okay, I guess Representative Haroldson is being currently indisposed at the moment. So we will move ahead and we'll wait for him then. We'll go to Senate files on first reading. Reading clerk, if we can do that until Representative Haroldson gets his deal finished up, and then we will proceed with that rule change. Reading clerk.
Senate File 32, sponsored by corporations.
First reading of the bill.
911 funding.
Where's my list? All right. Senate File 32, 911 funding will be assigned to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. Next rule for our next bill for our consideration, Senate File 101.
Senate File 101, sponsored by Senator Beitman.
First reading of the bill.
Second Amendment Protection Act, Amendments 3.
Second, Senate File number 101 will be assigned to Committee Number 2, Appropriations. Next bill for our consideration is Senate File 53.
Senate File 53, sponsored by Senator Crum.
First reading of the bill.
Keeping amateurism in high school athletics.
Senate File number 53 will be assigned to Committee Number 4, Education. Next Senate File for our consideration, Senate File 41.
Senate File 41, sponsored by Senator Olson.
First reading of the bill.
Portable benefit accounts.
Senate File 41 will be assigned to Committee Number 7, Committee Number 7, Corporations, excuse me. Next Senate File for our consideration, Senate File 61.
Senate File 61, sponsored by Senator Jones.
First reading of the bill.
Motor vehicle sales to family members not taxable.
Senate File 61 will be assigned to Committee Number 8, Transportation. Next Senate file for our consideration, Senate File 19.
Senate File 19, sponsored by Senator Rothfuss.
First reading of the bill.
Epinephrine delivery methods.
Senate File 19 will be assigned to Committee Number 10, Labor. Next Senate file for our consideration, Senate File 23.
Senate File 23, sponsored by Senator Schuler.
First reading of the bill.
Outpatient examination and commitment length.
Senate File 23 will be assigned to Committee Number 10, Labor. Next Senate file for our consideration, Senate File 48.
Senate File 48, sponsored by Senator Barlow.
First reading of the bill.
Stem Cell Freedom Act.
Senate File number 48 will be assigned also to Committee Number 10, Labor. That concludes our Senate files. Okay, back. All right, if we can corral him here, we'll try to get that out of the way. Representative Harrelson, you have a rule change. House Rule number 005, dealing with House Rule 13-7. Representative Harrelson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, body, my thought was to try to maybe clean up our timetables a little bit, but as I've gone around and tried to find the votes to make this reality, at this point, I do not have them. And so I will respectfully withdraw my rule at this time.
Seeing no objection from the body, the rule amendment has been withdrawn. Okay, moving on. Next for our consideration will be reports from standing committees. Reading clerk.
Senate File 5, sponsored by Labor, Hospital Bankruptcy Proceedings, an act relating to counties. Mr. Speaker, your Committee Number 10, Labor, Health, and Social Services, to whom is referred Senate File 5 engrossed. Hospital Bankruptcy Proceedings, respectfully report same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Klauston, Guggenmoss, Heft, McCann, Ottman, Rodriguez-Williams, Thayer, Wasserberger, Yin. Representative Rodriguez-Williams, Chairman. Senate File 7, sponsored by Judiciary, Theft Amendments, an act relating to crimes and offenses. Mr. Speaker, your Committee Number 1, Judiciary, to whom is referred Senate File 7, Theft Amendments, respectfully report same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Brady, Bratton, Filer, Lean, Singh, Washit, Webb. Noes, Representative Chestick. Excused, Representative Kelly. Representative Singh, Vice Chairman. Senate File 8, sponsored by Judiciary, absconding for criminal purposes, criminal offense, an act relating to crimes and offenses. Mr. Speaker, your Committee Number 1, Judiciary, to whom is referred Senate File 8 engrossed, absconding for criminal purposes, criminal offense, respect the report, same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Brady, Bratton, Chestick, Filer, Lean, Singh, Washit, Webb. Excused, Representative Kelly. Representative Washit, Chairman. Senate File 10, sponsored by Judiciary, contracts for holding and treating mentally ill detainees, an act relating to criminal procedure. Mr. Speaker, your Committee Number 10, Labor, Health, and Social Services, to whom was referred Senate File 10 engrossed, contracts for holding and treating mentally ill detainees, respect the report, same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Klauston, Guggenmoss, Heft, McCann, Ottman, Rodriguez-Williams, Thayer, Wasserberger, Yin. Representative Rodriguez-Williams, Chairman. Senate File 45, sponsored by Management Council. Local approval for simulcasting, an act relating to parimutuel wagering. Mr. Speaker, your Committee Number 9, Minerals, Business, and Economic Development, to whom is referred Senate File 45 engrossed, local approval for simulcasting, respect the report, same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Campbell, Heiner, Knapp, Larson, Lawley, Riggins, Schmid, Tarver, Weber. Representative Heiner, Chairman. Senate File 52, sponsored by SNRF. 2026 Large Project Funding, an act relating to the Wyoming Wildlife and Natural Resources Funding Act. Mr. Speaker, your Committee Number 2, Appropriations, to whom is referred Senate File 52 engrossed. 2026 Large Project Funding. Respect the report, same back to the House with the recommendation that it do pass. Ayes, Representatives Alaman, Angelos, Bear, Harrelson, Pendergraft, Sherwood, Smith. Representative Smith, Vice Chairman.
right, thank you, reading clerk. I understand we have a re-referral. Representative Rodriguez Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Senate File 10 be re-referred to Committee Number 2.
Hearing no objection from the body, it is so ordered. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at that order of business of bills on second reading. All right, we are at that order of business of bills on second reading. The first bill for our consideration is, yeah, get ready. Look at that pile. Consideration House Bill 16, reading clerk.
House Bill 16, sponsored by Blockchain, Secretary of State, expedited filings, and act relating to the administration of government.
House Bill 16 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 25.
House Bill 25, sponsored by Education, Wyoming's Tomorrow Scholarship Program amendments, and act relating to Wyoming's Tomorrow Scholarship Program.
House Bill 25 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 26.
House Bill 26, sponsored by Representative Posey, Vehicle Registration Fees, Tribal Governments.
House Bill 26 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 28.
House Bill 28, sponsored by Representative Strauch, Sexual Exploitation of Children Amendments.
House Bill 28 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 39.
House Bill 39, sponsored by Representative Washit, Firearms Rights Restoration Amendments.
House Bill 39 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration is House Bill 41.
House Bill 41, sponsored by Representative Webb, WHP, DCI, and Warden Retirement Benefits, and act relating to compensation and benefits.
House Bill 41 having been read two separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration is House Bill 43.
House Bill 43, sponsored by Management Council, Anti-Money Laundering, and act relating to crimes and offenses.
All right, House Bill 43, we have amendments. Representative Lean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, we stand at a critical moment to protect the integrity of our public servants and the trust we place in them. As we enact strong new laws against money laundering, an important amendment is needed. Public officials, whether legislators, judge, peace officers, or other servants, may not have financial ties or accept improper benefits from, let me back up.
Yeah, Representative, we need to move the amendment, please.
Mr. Speaker, I move second reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 43 and ask for your favorable consideration.
Thank you, Representative. Please proceed.
Let's see. This is a conflict of interest provision that prohibits elected officials from knowingly holding sufficient stakes like linked to money laundering or receiving gifts and compensation from those under investigation, charged or convicted with felony penalties. Without this safeguard, we risk allowing those in positions of power to profit from or shield the very criminal activities that we're working hard to stop, eroding public confidence and opening doors to corruption in our state. By inserting this very clear prohibition, we are upholding Wyoming values of honesty, transparency, and putting citizens first, ensuring no one in the government can play both sides. Let's pass this amendment and send a strong message. In Wyoming, public service means serving the people and not a personal gain. Thank you, and I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Representative. Any member would like to speak on the amendment?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. I'd also like to call for 12-4.
We will need two. Give the chief clerk a moment to write a couple names down. This is 12-4, ladies and gentlemen, so this will be a roll call vote on this amendment. Thank you, Representative. Okay, first person to speak, Representative Davis on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not exactly positive on what you're trying to accomplish here. but you know, it seemed like we're taking and putting something on top of a money laundering bill, which is directed for the gaming industry and the illegal activities that are occurring in there. Maybe if you could answer to me if this is already addressed in statute, and that if what you're trying to accomplish here is put redundancy into this. That would be my question on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members? First time on the amendment. Representative Washit, first time on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I guess my only concern, I like the idea here, but my concern is the may engage in. Even though it has a reasonableness standard there, trying to look into the future of what may occur becomes problematic, especially when it carries significant criminal penalties on top of it.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for their first time? No other members? Well, Representative Larson, Lloyd, your first time, sir. First for a second. Thank you, sir. Any other members on the amendment? Seeing none, we'll move to second. Any members would like to speak on a second time on the amendment? I see one member is feverishly looking through the statute book. Would you like a second, sir? I'd be glad to give you the opportunity. All right, seeing no members going to the microphones, we'll go to Representative Lean, please, on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment is not just for the gaming industry, it's also for the banking industry. It's for anyone that deals with any type of financials in the state of Wyoming. And a lot of times we do see some of those bigger cases that are charged in the federal government are surrounding the gaming industry. But this could be something as simple as we're passing through money that ends up benefiting somebody in favor of more than $1,000. This does have $1,000 threshold in it. So the $200 gifts that come to the legislative body are not in question. This is things that will substantially benefit those folks that have an interest in a party. I'm trying to think of how to word it. It's this conflict of interest clause comes from a state where they wear a lot of jerseys, and it helps to defeat some criminal activities that help there. This conflict of interest clause will allow us as a public servants to truly remain in neutral when making financial decisions. I hope that answers the question. And there's a may in here because we shouldn't say shall participate in those activities, because nobody will intentionally admit that they working for those activities. So it has to be a may in order to be enforceable by law enforcement. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Representative. Body, there will be a roll call vote taken on this. This is on amendment number 1 to House Bill number 43, second reading. Chief Clerk will take the roll.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez-Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strzok, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 1 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen to adopt second reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 43. House Bill 43 having been read 2 separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Representative Pendergraft,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor.
please.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the House would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the presence of the Speaker of the House of the 67th Legislature up in the balcony, Mr. Albert Summers.
Welcome. Good morning, Speaker Summers. Glad to have you in the House. Thank you for being here, sir. You didn't mention it was this much fun being Speaker. Thank you for being here, sir, and thank you for your leadership. And as serving under Speaker Summers, if I may, just briefly, I won't take more than 60 seconds of your time. We may not have always agreed politically, but I appreciated Speaker Summers. I enjoyed working with him as his majority floor leader, discussing issues and working through and helping this body to run as best as we possibly could. I enjoyed the relationship, still enjoyed the relationship, and I'm thankful for the interaction that I was able to have with Speaker Summers. And so thank you for being here, sir, and I appreciate you being in the House today. Okay, Representative Lawley, or let's see, wait a minute. Better not do that. Representative Yin was there first, so Representative Yin, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, members. We have a long day ahead. I would move the bills that have amendments to be laid back an additional day, plus one that I will also be having an amendment on. So pursuant to House Rule 7-3, I move to lay back an additional day House Bill 103, House Bill 126, and House Bill 159.
Any discussion on the body? I have House Bill 103, House Bill 126, and House Bill 159. Seeing no objection, these bills will be laid back one additional day. Let me mark these. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back on the second reading. Next bill for consideration will be House Bill number 44. Read.
House Bill 44, sponsored by Management Council, Revisers Bill, an act relating to the revision of statutes and other legislative enactments.
House Bill 44 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 52.
House Bill 52, sponsored by corporations, elections, hand counting for recounts, an act relating to elections.
House Bill 52 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill number 56.
House Bill 56, sponsored by Representative Knapp, carbon capture, mandate repeal, an act relating to public utilities.
House Bill 56 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 69.
House Bill 69, sponsored by Representative Larson Lloyd, Department of Health, land transfers, an act relating to state lands.
House Bill 69 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 70.
House Bill 70, sponsored by Representative Singh, Wyoming Granite Act, an act relating to civil procedure.
House Bill 70 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 75.
House Bill 75, sponsored by Representative Clouston, virtual currency kiosks, an act relating to trade and commerce.
House Bill 75 having been read 2 separate times. Question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 76.
House Bill 76, sponsored by Representative Stivar, exception for annexation with landowner objections, repeal, an act relating to annexation.
House Bill 76 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 78.
House Bill 78, sponsored by Water, Forest Health Grant Program, an act relating to state forestry.
House Bill 78 having been read 2 separate times. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 80.
House Bill 80, sponsored by Representative Jarvis. Identification cards, renewal for care facility residents, and act relating to identification cards.
House Bill 80 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 83.
House Bill 83, sponsored by Management Audit. Legislative subpoena penalty, an act relating to the legislature.
House Bill 83 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 84.
House Bill 84, sponsored by Management Audit. Falsifying election documents, an act relating to elections.
House Bill 84 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 92.
House Bill 92, sponsored by Representative Lucas. Sexual predators prohibited from public office, an act relating to administration of the government.
House Bill 92 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 95.
House Bill 95, sponsored by Representative Haroldson. Concealed carry, colleges and universities, an act relating to weapons.
House Bill 95 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 96.
House Bill 96, sponsored by Representative Haroldson. Carrying of concealed weapons, age requirement, an act relating to weapons.
House Bill 96 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 98.
House Bill 98, sponsored by Representative Haroldson. Prohibited Red Flag Gun Seizure Act, penalties, amendments, an act relating to protection of constitutional rights.
House Bill 98 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 102.
House Bill 102, sponsored by Representative Lean. Protecting kids from deep fakes and exploitive images, an act relating to crimes and offenses.
House Bill 102 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 103. Or no, excuse me, that's been set aside. House Bill 112.
House Bill 112, sponsored by Appropriations, Riverton State Office Task Force Sunset, an act relating to state-funded capital construction.
House Bill 112 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 116.
House Bill 116, sponsored by Water. Destruction of water is not beneficial use, an act relating to water.
House Bill 116 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 117.
House Bill 117, sponsored by Representative Lawley. Stop harm, empower women with informed notices, an act relating to public health and safety.
House Bill 117 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 120.
House Bill 120, sponsored by Representative Campbell. Energy Product Reclassification and Sovereignty Act, an act relating to administration of the government.
House Bill 120 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 127.
House Bill 127, sponsored by Representative Nyman. Voter approval for recreation mill levy, an act relating to taxation.
House Bill 127 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 128.
House Bill 128, sponsored by Representative Tarver. Enhanced oil recovery, severance tax exemption, an act relating to taxation and revenue.
House Bill 128 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 130.
House Bill 130, sponsored by Representative Wharf. Second Amendment Protection Act amendments, an act relating to the protection of constitutional rights.
House Bill 130 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration would be House Bill 141.
House Bill 141, sponsored by Representative Bear. Fifth Amendment Protection Act, an act relating to cities, towns, and counties.
House Bill 141 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 145.
House Bill 145, sponsored by Representative Yin. removing triple taxation for resident EV drivers, an act relating to taxation and revenue.
House Bill 145 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration, House Bill 147.
House Bill 147, sponsored by Representative Locke, property tax exemptions, effect of People's Initiative, an act relating to property taxation.
House Bill 147 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 157.
House Bill 157, sponsored by Representative McCann, protection of parental rights, cause of action, an act relating to parental rights.
House Bill 157 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Next bill and last bill for our consideration is House Bill 178.
House Bill 178, sponsored by Representative Williams, public unions, transparency and dues withdrawal limitations, an act relating to labor and employment.
House Bill 178 having been read two separate times, the question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there are second readings next on our agenda. Bills on third reading and final passage. We are at that order of business of bills on third reading and final passage. The first bill for our consideration is House Bill 10.
House Bill 10, sponsored by Judiciary, sexually explicit materials in libraries requirement, an act relating to libraries and education being enacted by the Legislature of the State of Wyoming.
We have an amendment. Representative Jarvis, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move Committee of the Whole, third reading, House, or amendment number, what am I at?
You're at the
Three.
third reading amendment number
Or,
one.
sorry, and amendment number what?
Number one.
It's number one in the third read, everybody. Whoa, we're off to a good start. For House Bill 10, and I ask for your favorable consideration.
Please proceed.
So if you all see, my amendment actually deletes this bill in its entirety. And I am not bringing this so I can talk about it, so I can withdraw this. That is not happening. I am going to say that as ludicrous as my amendment was yesterday, it's actually what it's going to take to truly allow people to solve this problem. And I also have a confession. As I went through this challenge/reconsideration process a couple years ago, I had to read a book that made me so sick to my stomach I wanted to puke. And guess what? I've upheld the First Amendment and thought never in my entire life as an educator would I ever ban books. I, Representative Jarvis, am a book banner. This is a problem. But let me show you something about this specific bill. I want to draw your attention to page 2, where it talks about a definition. Sexually explicit materials means a depiction or description in any writing, pictorial, or electronic form. Now I want to draw your attention to some additional language inside this bill. Page 4. Section 1. No sexually explicit materials shall be accessible in the children's section of the library at any time. Section 2. Sexually explicit materials are cataloged, located, and stored in a section of the library devoted primarily to or that provides materials aimed towards persons of age 18 or older. Why are these problems? Well, in this bill, we include online materials. Guess what? In this bill, it doesn't address online materials. I have a sneaking suspicion that our committee of law kind of knew that they can't control online books, so they pulled the language out. So this language only addresses the physical books. This bill only addresses the physical books in libraries. But what does this actually do? Because let me tell you how it's going to play out when we try to hide that we're not going to deal with online books, because guess what? Wyoming doesn't control nationally online books. Let me say that again. Wyoming has no control over nationally online books. It's a national problem. Wyoming can't control it. So what does this bill do? This bill pins parents and libraries and schools against each other. Because what does this bill do? The parent's gonna think they have the right to challenge. So what's gonna happen? That parent's gonna challenge a book. And then this committee's gonna get together and these people are gonna all go through the book and they're gonna say, yep, you're right, we agree. This book is heinous. It needs to go to the adult section. And then that kid's gonna get on their computer with their little library card and access that book. And then there's going to be a lawsuit. And that parent is going to find out that we wrote statute that only protects physical books, not online books. So we are wasting that parent's money. And then we're making libraries and schools look like they're being really shady and not transparent. That's what this bill does. Is it a problem? Yes. Can we come up with actual solutions? Oh my gosh, If this nation literally could come up with a rating system for books, schools would appreciate that beyond belief. But we don't have it. So I am asking you to look past heinous names and labels and titles of books and do right by Wyoming. Please vote no.
Representative, we'll need you to remove an enacting clause. If you, and you would just say, I would ask that we remove my amendment. So I withdraw my amendment, if you want to do that.
But I think there's some discussion. So do I just withdraw it?
Representative, no, just hang tough, so you
Okay.
don't want to be around there. Representative Lean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and against the amendment, when parents sign that opt-in form for online libraries, that subdues all obligations to the libraries. It doesn't mean that once they find materials that they're unsatisfied with, that they can come back and take that out on the school or the librarians. That opt-in form means that the parent is taking full accountability for what their child is reading in that online library. On and against.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for the first time on the amendment? Seeing none. Second time, Representative Lean? No? Back to the bringer, Representative Jarvis.
This doesn't do it. This hides the fact we can't control books and online.
Representative Johnson, or Brown, excuse me. What is your
Mr.
point?
Speaker, you can't use props.
Oh, thank you, Representative. Okay, I guess I'm curious, what prop did we use? Oh, did we waive
We're
something?
just waving papers.
Uh-oh, okay, Representative Jarvis, that's really not a prop, but anyway, go ahead.
So without the props, I'm going to tell you, if you would look down on your desks and see House Bill 10, this bill does not do it. It actually does far more harm than what we currently have. I respectfully withdraw my amendment and I ask you to vote no on the bill.
Barring objection from the body, the amendment has been withdrawn. Seeing no objection, the motion has been withdrawn. Body, you are voting on House Bill number There we go. Getting it on. You are voting for having been read 3 separate times. The question is, shall the bill pass? House Bill 10. Reading clerk will take the roll. Or excuse me, chief clerk will take the roll.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Pendergraft excused to aye. Clouston, no to aye. Strock, no to aye. Thayer, no to aye. Davis, no to aye. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 48 aye, 13 no, 1 excused.
House Bill 10, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 10 has passed the House. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 111. Reading clerk.
House Bill 111, sponsored by Appropriations, State-Funded Capital Construction, an act relating to state-funded capital construction being enacted by the Legislature of the state of Wyoming.
House Bill 111 having been read 3 separate times, the question is, shall the bill pass? The chief clerk will please call the roll. Thank you, Representative Alaman.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas,
Representative Lucas.
McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Singh, aye to no further changes. Brown, Landon, aye to no further changes. Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 58 aye, 2 no, 2 excused.
House Bill 111, having received the affirmative vote of the majority of the members elected to the House, House Bill 111 has passed the House. Okay, members. Moving on to number 1, third reading on our House budget bill. I trust all of you have your amendments. We're all ready to go on that. Reading clerk, please.
House Bill 1, sponsored by Appropriations. General Government Appropriations 2, an act to make appropriations for the fiscal biennium commencing July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2028, being enacted by the Legislature of the State of Wyoming.
We have amendments. It's not huge. I'm not sure. What did we end up with? I think we're shorter than we were the other day. So just, you guys have gotten pretty tight with this. So we shortened it up, I think, by 3 amendments. So appreciate your attention to that. So we should be able to rock it right through here. First amendment for our consideration on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 1. Representative Connolly, please.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, Representative Connolly. How have you been?
Wonderful.
Did you have a restful night, ma'am?
I did. It's a fine morning this morning.
It is beautiful. Wonderful day to be in Wyoming.
Okay, let's get down to this. This is really.
Please do. Thank you.
This is really important. So I move third reading amendment 1 to House Bill 1.
Please proceed, ma'am.
Okay, I presented this before. It's the portion of the Office of Homeland Security's request to reclassify a position. And the reason they need this position reclassified is because of the task that the body mandated them to perform in the last session. And this position has already been approved by the Human Resource Department, and the cost $28,793. And I think that's money well spent to allow these folks to provide a good product for us. And this funding is also 50% from EMPG funds. And this really is a mission critical request. What I'd like to say about that.
Point of order.
Representative, what's your point?
Mr. Speaker, this is a dilatory motion. We heard this motion last time on the second. This is an identical motion. It's already been voted down. I'd like to call the Rules Committee.
Rules Committee, would you please assemble at the front? Thank you very much.
Go forth and conquer. Make rules. I don't know.
Members, let's go ahead and find our spot back inside the chamber if we can. Representative Pendergraft.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I respectfully withdraw that motion.
Thank you, Representative. And for the body's edification, the discussion up here with the Rules Committee, and for those of you that stood and behind and listened, I will ask all of you this. If your amendment's being brought, that you are exactly the same as that were brought in second reading, the only thing that the request was asked was if we could try to not belabor the amendment. And I would be glad to ask that for time's sake. That is entirely, though, the decision of the body on how long we want to discuss these specific amendments. But if the request was, if the amendment was brought on second reading and thoroughly discussed, maybe consider that. But again, I am going to leave that to the body's discretion. You guys are the ones that are going to run this. I just have to try to make this thing, as if we can, move along as graciously and as smoothly as we possibly can. So with that in mind, Representative Connolly, please, amendment number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate your thoughts on this. I think we all want to kind of move things along as best we can. So just since people are familiar with the issue, what I'd like to just say one other thing. We need to get this funding to the Office of Homeland Security. It's just like if my dad ordered me to paint the barn and then did not give me a paintbrush. And so the way I'm going to do my task is to use a rag. And using a rag to paint the barn, it's not very effective. And my product isn't going to look like it should without having the tools that I need to be able to perform the duty that was required of me. And it's the same way with this piece of amendment in this bill. So I just ask you to please consider voting aye on the amendment.
Thank you, Representative Connolly. Representative Pendergraft, your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and against this, I believe that you will hear with virtually every amendment that comes up, this is needed. Every amendment that comes up, somebody needs this, and we've kind of discussed that yesterday. So we look at this from a broad perspective. What does it mean to grant every perceived or claimed need? It is the responsibility of we as appropriators to spend the money wisely, to look at what we have, and to effectively distribute it. It was the opinion of the Appropriations Committee, the Joint Appropriations Committee, that this is the way we felt it was in light of all of the scope across the enterprise. You may disagree. You absolutely have the right to do that. But I asked you to consider the fact that we have considered all of these
Representative,
needs.
what is your point?
Are we supposed to be on the amendment?
On the amendment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be done.
Representative Washut, your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this is recognized as a need, not a want. And it's a small, tiny amount of money. So it's within our ability to meet this need. We should do it. This is critical. This is important. This is a needed function. When we have the ability to meet that need, it's a dereliction, I think, of our responsibility to not do our best to meet that need. If they were asking for millions, we could have that debate. This is a tiny amount of money in our general budget to meet a genuine need. Please vote aye and support the amendment.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for the first time? Seeing none, second time. Back to the bringer, Representative Connolly.
Mr. Chairman, Speaker, I just ask for people to really think about this. Do we want to have these agencies not be able to do an efficient, timely, accurate job for us that we asked them to do. So please support the amendment.
Members, you're voting on third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 1. Chief Clerk will please call a roll.
Alaman. Andrew. Angelos. Banks. Bear. Brady. Bratton. Brown Gary. Brown Landon. Byron. Campbell Elisa. Campbell Kevin. Chestick. Plouston. Connolly. Davis. Erickson. Filer. Hornstrom. Geringer. Guggenmoss. Harrelson. Harshman. Piner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly, excused. Knapp. Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Riggins. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Smith. Storer. Strock. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Worf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 26 aye, 35 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen not to adopt third reading amendment number 1 to House Bill 1. Representative Yin,
Mr. Speaker, privilege of the floor.
please, sir.
Mr. Speaker, in our West Gallery, we have members from Wyoming's wing of the Civil Air Patrol. The Civil Air Patrol is a force of citizen volunteers performing missions for America. Their mission statement is supporting America's communities with emergency response, diverse aviation and ground services, youth development, and promotion of air, space, and cyber power. We have the Wyoming Wing Commander, Colonel Rodney Burnett, the Deputy Wing Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Todd DePorter, the Public Affairs Officer for the Wyoming Wing, Captain Luana DePorter, and members from the Laramie and Cheyenne Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol. And I would like to give them a big house welcome. Thank you.
Welcome to the House. Thank you for being here and for all of your efforts on behalf of providing safety and security and response for our state. Thank you. And it's so neat to see so many young people up there. Awesome. Appreciate you being here, and thank you for leadership for taking such good care of these young people and helping us to be able to move these projects forward and take good care of our state and its people. Representative Haroldson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor.
By all means, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, up in our West Gallery, we're going to celebrate another young man. We've got a gentleman here, a Wyoming boy. Actually, he grew up in the town that was right in the edge of my district for my first term before we redistrict. Gabe Saint is here today, and Gabe is he's president of the Turning Point USA chapter over there in Laramie. He is honored by the late Charlie Kirk in December of 2024 with the College Patriot of the Year Award, recognizing his advocacy for First Amendment rights on campus. Gabe is now in his first year of law school at UW. And I will just say this, as I've gotten to know this young man, I've been incredibly impressed with the fortitude that he has, the strength that he has, his ability to just continue to fight that fight. And as we lost a patriot in this country this last year, I just want to say thank you so much for what you do to continue that passion, that legacy on our campus here in the state of Wyoming. And I appreciate the battles that you fight every single day for the freedoms, that those constitutional rights of those students on that campus. So, Gabe, welcome to the House.
Welcome to the House, Mr. Saint. We hear multiple times on the floor that Wyoming needs more lawyers. So you've obviously responded to that, and we appreciate your effort in that. And sir, I have to recognize, no different than I recognize Ms. Wall, thank you for standing up for our First Amendment. Thank you for standing up for those rights that are guaranteed to us in our Constitution, and your continued fervor and desire to make sure that those rights are secured are greatly appreciated, not only by this generation, but I trust the future generations to come. So keep up the good work, Mr. Saint. Thank you. Okay, body, we have Representative Jarvis, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to do one more quick privilege of the floor.
You are absolutely welcome to do that.
Over here in our North Gallery, we have two incredible women, Jenna Hengsler and Steph Williams. They teach our babies to read in Douglas, Wyoming.
Welcome to the House. Thank you for sowing into our future generations. Thank you for your efforts. It's greatly appreciated and greatly respected. Thank you. Any other members? Okay, seeing none. Next bill for our consideration will be House Bill 1, third reading amendment number 3. And that would be, who has that? I have to go back here and find it. They got to have a misnumbering. Lucas, Representative Lucas, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill 1. Folks, this bill would defund the Wyoming Pacific Trade Corporation's ask for $400,000. This was previously part of the department, the council that promotes business in Wyoming, and the chief executive moved this to his own budget, and it was not part of his original budget request, but part of a letter. First, let's just start with what we're in business to do here. It's not the role of government to promote private businesses worldwide, private Wyoming businesses worldwide. When we send state dollars overseas that support private business opportunities, we're asking Wyoming taxpayers, ranchers, teachers, mechanics, small business owners to subsidize the international expansion of select companies. This is not the role of limited government. If a Wyoming product is competitive in the global marketplace, private brokers, industry associations, and voluntary partnerships can and should carry that work forward. It works really well. Some markets are hungry for Wyoming energy exports regardless of the work of this agency, and we know that, and it is very successful. We also have to weigh the cost against the impact. This office costs hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. It's been in place since 2018 and had previously been appropriated $250,000 per year. In speaking with the director of the council that promotes business in Wyoming, a number of House reps met with him recently, and he said, yeah, this one doesn't make money for us. It really needed to go away. $250,000 a year times 8 years, 7 years, and now we want to do $400,000. Folks, you can look on this organization's Facebook. It is named in the amendment, so I can say it, Wyoming Pacific Trade Corporation. They have a Facebook, and if you're patient like I am, you can scroll backwards and see pictures of the same lobbyists and the same folks from Wyoming going to Taiwan every year. And we don't know what good this has done because the information has been sketchy. I ask for you to support this amendment, and let's save our taxpayers a few more dollars. Thank you.
Representative Brown, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and against the amendment, ladies and gentlemen. And what's interesting is when you cut the 400,000 in half, because that's what we're doing on a biennial budget, this is actually a reduction in the budget that was already produced. So we're looking at $400,000 over the course of 2 years, which is actually only $200,000 a year. And what I just heard in testimony was they used to operate on $250,000 a year. So we've actually reduced this. But what I would also say is this is the first year that I can remember in a long time that we haven't actually had the delegation come and speak to us from the country that was just named out there. I guess we can say the country name, Taiwan. It's absolutely true. And we've done some really, really good agricultural work out of this state and exporting some beef exports out. And I want to be absolutely clear that this is not about just setting up and putting in one line of business and one line of thing that we're doing. If you look here, this is about trade. This is about us accepting trade value in and getting trade value into this state just as much as it is about us getting our exports out. And I thought I heard at one point that we really want to make sure that we get our energy and our products out of the West Coast. When we start talking about our coal and our oil and our natural gas, need I remind everybody in this body that those are private companies too. And so we want to dump money into making sure that we protect those industries and having good trade with those industries across the pond. I think it's a really good idea for us to make sure that we're keeping up really good industry standards with the people that we do this trade with in Asia as well. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Let's stop talking out of both sides of our mouth.
Representative, first time on the amendment, Campbell, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise before you to speak against this amendment. I think we all ought to look at what exactly the function of this office is, and let's put it in a simple business context. This office is to build relationships. It's a sales office. And as the previous speaker spoke, this is talking about our cattle industry. I'm looking at hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in beef. This is 43% of our soda ash market. This is the premium for the energy standards on that sovereignty bill that I'm wanting. This is the contacts that we need to make this go. You know, Wyoming doesn't just automatically through osmosis have connections to make these things happen. This office is designed to make those connections and build those relationships. I ask for a no vote against this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Sherwood, please, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If folks want to see where the governor requested this, you can go to the Wyoming State budget website. It's there that you can see the governor's budget message, each agency's budget request, and the governor's letters. And so this allocation was requested in governor's letter number 4. And just to clarify again, this is to expand and export Wyoming's natural gas, coal, rare earths, critical minerals, and nuclear-related technologies. Thank you.
Representative Angelos, first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and against, this was the position of your JAC for multiple reasons. One, we have a current administration that has worked out. I've heard between $500 and $700 billion trade deal with our allies over in the, I can't say the word, but our allies over there. And this office is imperative to that. I think we voted on a bill yesterday that's imperative to that. My own county with coal and exports, we had one of the delegations that this office will be working with come to my county last summer. This is imperative specifically for our energy and for the golden age of energy that has come about with this administration. So I'm on and against. I do want to assure the body that we did ask the governor's office, because there is a lot of what goes on over there, to involve the legislature more. I know some of the more senior members have been more involved in this. We just asked that we would be included in that. And I encourage you to do that. So on and against.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Singh, for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I don't mean to belabor the point. I would go on and against this amendment respectfully.
this, in that ecosystem over there in that particular office, there are other states that have very similar types of responsibilities. And we see interactions between this office and the locals there, between our nation, and they're reliable partners when it comes to the interest in other states. It's with semiconductors and establishing the means of production for those things here in this country. But when it comes to Wyoming specifically, it allows us to export things like beef, which is the best culinary item, in my opinion, in beef country. But so this, by removing this and not having a diplomatic voice in the conversation itself, I think that would limit the opportunities that for us would be available, and that would be regrettable. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative, and I could not agree more. Wyoming beef is the best beef in the world. Nobody's going to argue that. Let's go ahead and try. Anytime you're ready, we'll try that one. Anybody else? Is that it? All right, second time. Question being called. Representative Lucas, would you like to come back? Good. All right, question being called. Vote, members, you're voting on third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill number 1. Chief Clerk, call the roll.
Allemand. Allemand.
Excused.
Andrew. Angelos. Banks. Bear.
No.
Brady. No. Bratton. Brown Gary. Brown Landon. Byron. Campbell Elisa. Campbell Kevin. Chestick. Clouston. Connolly. Davis. Erickson. Feiler. Feiler. Bornstrom. Geringer. Guggenmoss. Haroldson. Harshman. Harshman. Heiner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly, excused. Knapp.
No.
Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Riggins. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Smith. Storer. Strock. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Wharf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker.
No.
Are there any changes? Allemand excused to no. Johnson, no to aye. Further changes? Larson JT excused to
No.
no. Rodriguez Williams, aye to no. Further changes? Further changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 6 aye, 55 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen not to adopt third reading amendment number 3 to House Bill number 1. Next amendment for our consideration will be amendment number 4, House Bill number 1. Representative Larson Lloyd, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to move third reading amendment number 4 to House Bill 1. And folks, we had this amendment in second reading, and I would remind you that we purchased a new office building. We purchased a building in the Riverton. It's in the amendment in Riverton to house most of our state agencies there. The administrator over this agency, not knowing quite what the task force that we just ended in another piece of legislation was going to do, she didn't have the request for funding in her budget, which was due in August. And so I made a request that because we now own the building, we have people in it, we need to pay for the lights and the gas, the utilities, and pay for the maintenance and upkeep with staff. We turned that down in second read amendment. My fellow colleague from the county and from actually the town that where this building is at, was I walked back to my desk, he asked, so how do we pay the utilities? Right? You got to be able to pay. So I says, well, let's try again, because we have to pay our bills and we have to maintain the building. And so I just asked for favorable consideration on this request.
Your representative, any members for the first time? Representative Guggenmoss for your first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I sat on that task force. Granted, it was the last meeting, and so I was playing catch up. And even though it was the last meeting, I do kind of feel partially responsible for this oversight. I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but we have bought the building, and now we need to keep it up. So I don't think this is any kind of wasteful spending of any sort. You know my voting record. I usually vote against spending increases, but this was an oversight, and I'd just like to see it corrected. So on and for this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for your first time? No members, second time? Seeing none, back to the bringer. Okay. Assistant Chief Clerk, please call the roll. Amendment number 4.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Repeat, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storr, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washit, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Store excused to. Further changes. Brady excused to. Further changes. Campbell Kevin, aye to no. Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 31 aye, 30 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen to adopt third reading amendment number 4 to House Bill number 1. Next amendment for our consideration, number 5 to House Bill 1. Representative, who have I got? I've got Wiley, Davis, Larson, or Tarver. Wiley, thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I apologize. I was already taking a nap.
Can't blame you for that, but anyway, please proceed.
At this time, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move third reading amendment to House Bill number 5, third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill number 1. Mr.
Exactly.
Speaker.
That's it, sir. Please proceed.
Good right before afternoon, body. It's gonna be there. I'm just practicing for later. I got one further down on the list. Again, folks, I was gonna give everybody a printout of what OSHA 1010 safety requirements and stuff are and how they work and how it could help us, with workers' compensation premiums. But I believe the paper would cost more than what I'm asking for here. So if you would please find it in your hearts to give these folks this training that they need to be safe in the workplace, please vote aye.
Thank you, Representative. Any members first time? Representative Davis, first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, the standard for safety in the private sector should also be afforded to our public employees. I think this is just a small ask to bring them up to the same standard.
Any other members first time? Second time? Okay, to the bringer. Representative Wiley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, this is for safety. This is to keep people safe in the workforce. The ones that are there every day might help prevent an injury, help not have some insurance claims. Please vote aye.
Thank you, Representative. Chief Clerk, if you'll please call the roll on amendment number 5 to House Bill 1.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Hornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Harrelson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker.
No.
Are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 27 aye, 34 no, 1 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen not to adopt third reading amendment number 5 to House Bill 1. Next amendment for our consideration is third reading amendment number 6. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Body, I bring to you third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill 1 and ask for your favorable consideration. It's $100,000 appropriation for agriculture leadership program specifically, or primarily one program that we're all familiar with. The director of the department is all right with this appropriation. We've ran that by him. We have not supported this leadership program for 10 years. And it costs around $400,000 per biennium. They raise most of their own money, but they're just having need a little help to fill in the gaps depending on the year, and ask for your favorable consideration.
Thank you, Representative. Members, first time, Allaman, first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We support our agriculture leadership great. The industry that runs our sheep, the industry that runs our cattle, both have extensive leadership programs. Your JAC added, without anybody asking us to, we added $300,000 for ag in the classrooms. This was not asked for by our agriculture agency. This was not asked for by our governor. So I ask you to vote no on it, because our ag agency and our governor, neither one thought this program was needed. I ask for an aye vote or a negative vote. Thank you.
Any other representative? Nope, none. Back to the bringer. Oh, Representative Harshman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just a gentle reminder to us 61 who are here that, the chief executive makes these and puts this budget together, but it's our budget. And this is our chance now to affect policy in the state of Wyoming. And so this program was supported by the state, by us on this floor. And then in 2016, when everything went south for us, we had to make cuts. And that's why, yeah, I mean, if we were just doing all the governor's rec, we'd have a different budget in front of us. And so this is the legislative recs and how we're going to make laws. So I encourage your support. This is a huge program, and we all know this. I mean, but this next generation is going to take over these legacy industries, this ag industry, and we want to do all we can to support. So thank you. Please vote aye.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members? First time? You good? Waving us off. Members, you're voting on third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill number 1. Assistant Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, repeat, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Feiler, Fornstrom, Geringer, Gugemas, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly excused, Knapp,
Excused.
Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washit, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin, Mr. Speaker. Repeat. Are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Winter. Aye to no. Further changes. Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 20 aye, 40 no, 2 excused.
By your vote, you have chosen not to adopt third reading amendment number 6 to House Bill number 1. And a couple of reminders, ladies and gentlemen, that was brought to my attention. We get a little bit loose with some of the terminology that we use and how we address folks. Using the word governor, addressing him as the governor, we need you to be using, and I appreciate if you use the chief executive when you're addressing the governor's office. And another thing, just from my perspective, these ladies up here are not going to ask you, but I'm going to ask you. You need to speak up when you're voting, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot hear a lot of you. It sounds like somebody is whispering in the back of this thing. So please project your voice because they have to ask a second time, which takes time. And so project your voice out there if you possibly can so that we can hear you. Makes this thing go a lot faster. So, and time is important. So thank you very much. Yeah, oh, and what else? And be on the floor and pay attention or you're going to get me a side eye. So will you? I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Next amendment for our consideration is amendment number 7 to House Bill number 1, third reading. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move third reading amendment number 7 to House Bill number 1. I'm going to try not to get in the weeds on this one too much. No,
I would have a drum roll for you, but I don't have that button up here. But anyway, go ahead.
It's confusing for me even, but I have a corrected copy because the first one was unclear. It appeared as if we were taking money away from these 6 small offices under the department. And that's not the case. We're trying to relieve them of that duty, relieve them of that cost, A&I cost. It's not a big cost for A&I, but it is a giant cost for these very small offices. And so if you look at the original amendment in our big pile of amendments, it has the amounts there that might be helpful. That's the amount of money we're looking at, and hopefully appropriator help me out a little bit. Thank you.
Representative Sherwood for your first time.
Thank you very much, Body. This is something called cost allocation. And when you look at the budgets for these very small boards and commissions, because they utilize shared services like human resources or ETS and IT, they utilize the services of the state office or the AG. The cost allocation is essentially those boards and commissions paying the state for those services. So good in practice in terms of, making sure we're allocating money where money's being spent and utilized. However, these are really small boards and commissions. And the cost allocation becomes 23% of their expenses. And it really eats into their ability to get the money on the ground and to fulfill their mission. So this is absolutely a policy consideration. It is one that the good representative who is honored up here, who we all miss, he would bring this to the mic for this body to consider. And so I think we are carrying on that tradition of having this conversation. This amendment would remove the burden of paying that cost allocation for these entities listed for the duration of this budget. And I would encourage you to vote aye.
Any other member? Representative Alaman, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Boy, when I got here this morning and picked up this corrected amendment, I was more than relieved. Make sure that everybody's looking at their corrected amendment, not the one that is in the 103 amendment book. What this is doing, folks, is just giving back or not taking away the money that the producers made and put a pass through to the state to go to their, most of them are voted in boards for advertising their products. The original amendment was taking quite a little money from them, and it really bothered me. I was very happy to see this corrected amendment, which I think was the intent all the time. But I urge a yes vote on this amendment. It costs the state no money. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for the first time? Representative Bear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to help with this, this is really an accounting issue. The previous appropriator was right. This doesn't change where the money's, it does change where it shows up on the bookkeeping. If you approve this amendment, you're really reducing transparency. So if you look at the history of these boards, they have not shown these expenses that the state is providing for them. So we've just recently finally started assessing these shared costs back to the user. And so we've had some complaints that all of a sudden these boards are spending a lot more money. Well, they're not. They're just showing that they're spending money for the resources that they're actually using. So that shows the public what the real cost of operating that board is. So by removing this, if you pass this amendment by removing that, what you do is you take away that cost in their bookkeeping for the public to see what does it cost to operate this board. It does make it look better, like you're not spending as much for that board, but you really don't know what does it cost to operate this board, because these are shared services that the state is providing. So the people are going to get paid. You're not changing anything there. You're not changing anything as far as how the board's going to operate. You're not giving them any more money or any less money. You're just showing the public how much it costs to operate that board. So I would urge a no vote on this amendment so that we can be more transparent.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for the first time? Representative Larson, Lloyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure that, and I would like a little clarification, because this is all special revenue coming into these commissions and these councils. I think so when a part of their budget then has to be allocated, it comes back to the state from that special revenue, I believe. If I'm wrong, I could be corrected. So I think it does impact their bottom line. I do think that these boards and commissions who, and rightfully so, don't have the resources for a lot of the government services, and so we provide that through this agency number 10, that they should carry the burden of some of that. I would just hope that, and I support this amendment, but I think that there still needs to be some evidence that even if they're small, that there's an appropriate percentage of their funds that recapture this, or the result of that is the rest of the taxpayers are paying for it. And so they should bear some of that burden. Just hope they can come up with maybe a little more appropriate model for some of these smaller commissions.
Thank you, Representative. Any other members for your first time? Seeing none, second time? Back to the bringer, waving us off. Members, this is not a roll call. This is a voice vote. So all those in favor of third reading amendment number 7 to House Bill 1 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Amendment has been adopted. Excuse me? Division, okay. Division haven't been called. All those in favor, please stand. Okay, everybody stand still. I know swaying back and forth allows your hips to move, but please stand still and remain as quiet as possible. And no yawning. Representative Yin. You may be seated. Okay, those opposed. It's going to be very close, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, come on in, get everybody inside, get where you can actually make eye contact with the front, and then you'll be able to be seen to count. Okay, please stand still. Okay, you can sit. 29-30, the motion has passed. Okay. Representative Provenza, 30 to 29. Listen to what I meant, not what I said. 30 to 29, the motion has passed. Representative Provenza,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor.
please, ma'am, proceed.
Thank you. Today, we are joined by the Capital Collaborations Group, bringing together participants from all over Wyoming and representing the organizations of Juntos Wyoming, Better Wyoming, Hispanic Organization for Progress and Education, and Wyoming Independent Citizens Coalition. This event is in its third year and seeks to empower underrepresented voices and teach participants how to engage with legislators and gain practical tools to advocate in their communities. For many participants, this is their first time visiting the Wyoming Legislature. Please join me in giving them a round of applause.
Thank you for being here and welcome to the House. Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules, I'm sure, to be here and oversee this and being a part of this. It's group genius. Yes. Representative, Connolly. Okay. Are you on the next amendment? Okay. Did you want to break? Okay. Representative Connolly, I think Majority Floor Leader is going to give us a chance to eat a bean here.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House stand in recess until 2 p.m.
Committee announcements. Anything? Representative Andrew, number 4, Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your committee number 4, Education, will meet in room 3, 15 minutes after noon recess to hear 3 bills. Senate File 18, Attendance of Students in K through 12 Schools. Senate File 36, Hathaway Lump Sum Merit Scholarship. Senate File 47, Increase of Hathaway Scholarship Awards. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Any other committee announcements? That's it. Oh, committee number 7, Corporations. Good Chairman Knapp.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Corporations Committee number 7 will meet upon noon recess. I'll give everybody about 20 minutes, and then we'll be going over 2 Senate file bills. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any others? I did. Okay, the House stands in recess until 2 p.m.